Now you can do it. That's what I wanted to hear. And then I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to make sure I click both of the right buttons and I show the right desktop. And then I'm going to start us off. So welcome everybody. Today is Microseasons 12. I've decided to call this Awakening Thunder because the actual microseason has, this is part of spring equinox, and it says thunder raises its voice. So you see Betsy Williams' plate, and you see Joanna McPherson's haiku, which says, under heavy clouds, I heard Rajin speak to me, and it made me jump. So as I do every time, I let people know that this is an online collaborative project. There's a new session every 5 days. We ask people to go outside, look around for changes that they see, however subtle they might be, share their impressions by taking a picture and some words, and then we give and receive feedback. And this, of course, is the last micro season for March, as you can see. Our next one will be in April. How many days from now? 5 days from now. That's exactly right. And as we traditionally do, we let Joanna McPherson explain to us how this project began.
In the chaos and unpredictability of nature, the seasons and their qualities provide a little map to navigate each year. And so when I first came across the Japanese 72 microseasons, I was fascinated to learn more. There wasn't much information available in English, so it took a few years to gather and decode the full set. But then I began to use it as a starting point to learn more about Japan, and from there apply it to what was going on in my own local environment halfway around the world. The project with Betsy was a perfect step forward, exploring the markers through poetry and pottery, a connection we found despite living over 4,000 miles apart and having never met. We recorded the Japanese seasonal markers along with our own thoughts and visualization. The haiku prompts were transformed into a tiny plate every 5 days throughout 1 year. We have now turned our Instagram collaboration into a book.
And so everyone who sends a picture gets a copy of the book. And this is the video for today's submissions. So for the next 2 minutes, enjoy a little bit of peace of mind and the beauty that has been shared with us. So my question to you is, where is your thunder today? What's happening as things arise? Where are we at as this point happens where as the Chinese believe, in the fall, the energy goes back into the earth with the last thunderstorm. We don't hear thunder again until it's ready to emerge and with its life-giving power comes out. Well, that's now happened for us here in Santa Fe. How's it going where you are? And also, I'd like to know what you thought of the pictures, because this is the fun part where at least Geizi's going to get to hear what people thought of her pictures and her story. The other folks will have to hear it on the recording. Hey, Celia, good to see you.
Hi.
Why don't you go first, because we can't see you. What did you think of what you did see?
Oh, I just love seeing where Geizi lives. I live in the East Mountains outside of Albuquerque, and yesterday we had rain, sleet, snow, sun, and wind. So it couldn't make its mind up.
We had amazing fog this morning over some of the hills. It was too dark to even get a picture. I didn't even try, but it was completely magical. Anybody else have a thought about what they saw?
Oh, am I okay? I've always thought that I'd like to document the changing of the seasons. And because I think that we forget how renewing that can be, that now we're in, I don't know. I just always have really felt that way. Also, as a science teacher, it's always amazing to me that people say it was much warmer this time last year. And it's like, well, maybe we should, or we didn't get snow. We don't get snow, Hi, Celia. So, I think that, yes, to document that, I think is beautiful, really.
And this is Tanya, and I'm from Taos, and I feel that in seeing those photos, it was a lot of renewal and coming back, and because we are very much in consistency with the four directions, the four elements, the changing of this time again, and especially here in northern New Mexico, the importance of the water, and so I felt that it was very renewal, and also yesterday too, we had such an array of so many different energies with the weather changing, and so it just in gratitude for this. Also, I wanted to mention that I am I do work with people that do the Aztec dancing, and this year, the Mexica New Year for us, it's 10 rabbit, and which is also fertility. So I wanted to mention that Tochli, and so it kind of also gives me that feeling of this this time of fertility as well.
That's beautiful. I think that because both you and Louise are working very closely with Native culture, there's just something so primal and so powerful about taking the time to connect, putting aside the things that are manufactured and connecting and resonating with the things that are natural. And it's kind of ironic or weird or twisted or something, I'm not sure. Here we are using most advanced technology, which has separated people in many ways, or they've allowed it to separate them, but it's not necessarily a separation. So I like to think we do a little bit of time in front of the computer when what we've done away from the computer. And the fact that we spent the time away from the computer brings us some sense of renewal too. And when that's shared, it gets amplified. So I guess I'm preaching to the choir a little bit, maybe. But I know that also this morning, if you don't mind, Tanya, we had such a wonderful discussion early this morning about the project that you're doing in Taos. And the other folks on this call they've only heard me talk about it. So if you wouldn't mind just sharing a little bit of how you see this going and how you see the families being involved and what you see of the potential of what's going on with La Tormenta de Taos. That would be really great since we're recording it anyway, so we can share that later, and it'll be a sort of sneak preview for people of what they could get involved with or get inspired by, certainly.
Yes, thank you so much. And it was very enlightening, and it was very encouraging that all of us as a collective group, even if we're in different places, all have that same consciousness and mindset of the kids. And so this project that is particularly in the schools right now is called La Tormenta de Taos. And this would probably be about the ninth book actually that we have self-published. And this year we're going to have actually a publisher help us do this. But La Tormenta de Taos came together after 2 years of being isolated and children working remotely, and myself working in the community in IT, feeling and sensing the disparity with a lot of families. And so when we came back together this last school year, 2021, the artists that I'm working with, which there's actually 7 of them, we all decided to do this play that is based on COVID, but it's really not. We don't say it's COVID, but it also plays in with our culture and our traditions up here in northern New Mexico, and inherently what we have at hand and what we use. And so the idea is that there is a conejo, a rabbit, that takes out this message of this tormenta, which is a storm that hit Taos. And so he's taking out the message of how the importance of going back and using the medicines, the medicinas, the osha, all of the remedios, the remedies that we use here in this area, and then also giving kids the idea that it's not only important to take this message out to the bee, the abeja, the lobo, and to the venado, the deer, but that message gets out too, that it's important to eat right, to sleep right, but to also really value the identity of our culture and our language as well, because it's a bilingual book. And so, in a sense, it does really go into, the mental health part of it. And it's so important for our kids right now. And so this book has turned into, we've got a theater piece behind it, the kids are doing acting. So there's 45 students totally involved. 2 different classes that are 3rd grade. One is in Arroyos del Norte, which is north of here, Ranchos Elementary, and then Enos Garcia, which is our largest elementary school. And so 2 classes are acting, dancing, and singing. And then we have 1 class that's actually illustrating the drawings for the other 2 classes to create this book. And so the amount of collective energy and the participation from not only the visiting artists, the teachers, administrators, but just the energy that it's created. Now, as far as the families, this is the greatest part, because Taos is a small community. We do know each other. And so just, within 3 different families that have contacted me, or I've heard of this. One particular family, they're an immigrant family, but they have a business here in Taos. And one of the sons of this woman that owns this restaurant mentioned to me about a week ago how she had acquired the type of work that I did when I stopped at her restaurant, told her I was going to the schools. And she mentioned to me that her son is part of the play, and that during the evening and the morning, he's walking around singing and singing the part out and dancing it. And she says it's really just been so great for the family and for her child. He wanted a speaking part in the role, and we did choose the 4 main characters on the stipulation that they would involve a family member, actually 4 family members. So it could be a mom, a dad, aunt and uncle, grandpa and grandma, or siblings. And so he did bring this up to her, and she did say, well, mom and dad do work, so we can't have a part in the play, but we will be there to support you when you act out the play. That was one family. Another one was one of our visiting artists. Hers has a son, and the babysitter for her son was saying that her brother was in the play and that he was also very excited. So it's amazing how it's getting out into the community. Another grandmother called me and said that she also has a role in the play, and she wants to make sure that she will be able to do this acting out and performance on May 16th. So it's incredible, just the energy and how we're involving all these families. And it gives me a lot of just happiness knowing that in this world right now, we are making a difference with our community, our families, and our kids that are the future generations, the one that will carry this forward. And just the little that we can do for them is incredibly beautiful. So, and the program, I just want to mention, is the FAEA, the Fine Art Education Act that that I'm under. Vicki Breen with the Humanities is the consultant brewer there in Santa Fe. And this is the elementary arts program. So we do also have 3 other art teachers that are part of our program, and then 21 visiting artists that are under the visiting artist program. So we also do emphasize the New Mexico arts, which are tinsmithing, micaceous clay, jewelry, felting. So it's really turned into just the variety of the 4 strands, which is visual, performing, dance, and theater.
It's beautiful. It's wonderful. So before I show everybody what I want to show them, I have a question for you, Louise. There are a number of students from Taos in the Santa Fe Indian School, right? So maybe there's a way of making some connection here, because this is going to be ongoing all the way up to May. What we're doing in DART, I put a link in the chat that is a link to what I'm going to show you on the screen now. And this is a version in DART. We're building a website so that people can see what we're putting on the datacasting receivers. But this is what we have put together. This is how the project began, with drawings that young students have done. So you can see what's going on in the book. But before we do that, it'll be easier to see this. We have taken a video that is how the students are preparing. And it's great to be able to put this video online, but so many families in Taos don't have good enough internet to ever be able to see a video. So right now, this is actually on the datacasting receivers, and this is how kids are practicing.
Storm dance. 1, 2, 3.
Group 1 runs in, captures, pulls back, turns, and crouch. Group 2 run in, capture, turn, and crouch. Run around, A in the middle, B on the outside, and A's run out, capture, pull back, and crouch. Now the cannon, one at a time around the circle. Everyone stands up and tosses 1, 2, 3 times, and then creative exit off stage.
And you can see that was just this much of that video. There's all the rest there that the kids can use to practice at home. And then we get to see how the book came together. As you see, it's in English and Spanish. And the story continues. The people are introduced to the characters, and we get a sense of what the kids were feeling. This one blows me away when they say all the poor animals were tossed around in the great turbulent storm. They were so afraid for their lives. Everybody was misplaced. Animals lost their grounding. It was a scary time for everybody. They did not know if they would make it through the storm. The wisdom that these third graders are showing, they know that it affected the whole planet. As Tanya said, they wanted to share their remedies and survival skills. And then the rabbit goes out, grabs his guitar and a few snacks to greet his fellow neighbors and learn from them. This is so wonderful that I get tears when I think about the power of what the children are sharing with us, the power of families in community, bringing something like this together, and just the little bit of contribution we're able to make through the data casting to document and share this. It feels like good work for us to all be involved in. So again, Tanya, congratulations to you for the 16 years you've worked on it to bring it to the point. And congratulations to us for being able to find a way to support and contribute to what you're doing and expand it out. You're showing what's possible, and that may lead other people to expand and have it take root in their communities too. So Geizi, what do you think seeing this? Louise, what do you think seeing this? Celia, what do you think seeing this?
I'll start. Bravo, Tanya, bravo. It's just neat to see all the involvement of the community and the parents and the kids, and it's just exciting to me. It's a project worth school, if you know what I mean.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Things we should be doing in school. It's more important than the multiplication tables to me.
Mhm. Yes. Gracias.
De nada.
Yeah, I love how the kids get to draw after they, I mean, just them being involved with the whole project itself, being part of the whole process is really amazing. And I know that in your region you have your own little microcosm of culture. Here also in the Northwest we do, because I'm very close to Shiprock, and so I have a majority of my kids are Native Americans. We have powwows, we have stuff going on here. So we have our own little group here, or community, or celebration. And so, yeah, I'm seeing something like some of my kids could probably contribute as well. I just need to start, I guess. But yeah, it's and you know how kids are when it comes to sharing, and then they see that whatever they shared is put together in some kind of a video. Kids love to see that their work is appreciated. And absolutely, this is something that is very promising, especially because we have a lot of communities here, like not just in Shiprock. Shiprock is pretty much, they're good in terms of Wi-Fi connection, but past the mountains towards Chiska, we have areas that have no running water, no electricity. So yeah, I mean, a project like this could totally benefit the kids, and yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Louise, anything to add?
I can't help but to feel like, do they get to move around? Like here at the Indian school, we're on a block every day and they only move 4 times, And so to see that, I'm just thinking, how could I incorporate that into science? But then in my Tutors to Teachers program, which is a teacher pipeline program, we really should be doing more expressive work. Yeah,
Mhm.
to be reminded of that, you know.
Well, that's what we're hoping, Louise, is that the power of your program, having young people work with youth, largely in after-school programs, is how it began on reading. But now that it has moved to this idea of online, so many of the teachers find that to be too big of a hill to climb. So they don't necessarily think about how could the technology be used in these ways, in these creative ways. By us modeling it and them learning it alongside with us, they're going to be an invaluable resource to the schools that they work with. And that's the thing that we're working on now. The minute this thing is over, we're finishing up putting in a proposal that will allow us to offer these types of experiences to school as part of career technical education in terms of work-based learning. So right now, we know that PBS is already interested in coming and filming in the homes where at-home learning is happening. And of course, Taos is going to be a center for that. Las Lunas is going to be a center. There are different places. Every teacher who has put up pictures is potentially able to say, here's how I'm using this to connect with my families. But there's going to be a lot of video production that happens here. And I can't do it all. So I have worked with AU, one of the guys, Anurag, who works with us. He has learned how to do the software that allows me to create everything that you've seen here. And those students are going to be the ones that are building and updating the La Tormenta website so that as new versions of the book come, as more ideas come, as the scripts come, all of these things, we're able to put it in and share it out. And so there are great opportunities for students to be working on this summer along with PBS. And so I think, you know, we're setting up a good foundation here. Is our topic today was the thunder awakens, you know, and I think the thunder is awakening with us, that I'm seeing we were isolated, we were shut down, we had to worry about COVID. We have a lot of things to worry about in this world. Certainly those number of things is not going down, but what is coming up is this energy from the earth is bringing up energy in us. And as we connect, we begin to see possibilities that we couldn't have known about before. So I'm just very grateful we were able to take this time today and show a little bit of it. Thank you for joining us. When this finishes, the recording will process and we'll shrink it down and we'll put it out there so you can share it with others. But I'm just very grateful that we were able to gather together today, share what we've got, and guess what? In 5 days, we'll have something new to talk about.
And can I share one last thing, Ferdi?
Of course.
I forgot to mention that with the visiting artists that go into the 3 elementary schools, they're actually preparing for a show that will be featured here in Taos on May 14th at the Philip Bryce Gallery. And we would usually do any of our performances, which was flamenco and then the theater pieces in the past on the big stage. But this year we're actually taking it outside. And so the landscape is actually going to be our theater background. And then in the gallery will be all the visual pieces of art that the students have created, kinder through 5th through the year, and we will have them on exhibit. But and at that point, we also will have the book to hand out to the 45 students that participated in this, and parents and community, and that way this will. And the show is entitled "Anything Is Possible," and so it is so fitting for this whole program. And so if it's on a Saturday from 1 to 4, I invite all of you to come up if you can to Taos. I just got word that also our Taos culinary high school class will probably also cater the event, so that we're really happy with that, because that brings in now the high school students and you know, their culinary expertise. So we're really happy about that. So we invite all of you to come and view the theater piece. We'll be doing it twice on that Saturday. And we'll also have copies of the book. So thank you.
Fantastic. Well, we're hoping to be up in Taos at some point next week. You tell me what's the best day to come. And who
Okay.
knows, if it ends up being the day we're doing the micro seasons, we'll do the micro seasons from Taos.
That's right. Okay. All
Tanya,
right.
Thank you again.
sorry, Tanya, I have a question. So do you do this with the kids during class, or it's an after school?
No, it's during class, and
Oh.
they get, yeah, it's during class. And the idea is in the very beginning, I select the artist, of course, that can work with kids. And Taos is such a, a large mecca of so many artists, but not everyone can work with kids. So that's a real important part of it. And so I put out a brochure, and teachers basically select the artists that they would like to come into the classrooms, whether it's felting, tinsmithing, jewelry. And so, for instance, if it's jewelry, they'll have up to 4 classes. This year, we've also introduced printmaking. Kids are doing lino cuts and collagraphs, which is really exciting. And so then those pieces are saved for the end of the school year show exhibit. And so it just depends on, also one last thing, and Ferdi never got to see this yet, but we also are so privileged and have had Christopher Taylor and his wife Deb, who have created 8 incredible mosaic murals through the whole school district. And they've worked with kinder through 5th. Chris Taylor is Elizabeth Taylor's nephew, and he is just an incredible artist. And what they have done also is just phenomenal. Now they're working in the lunchroom with one of the murals, and it's called Nutrition Through Tradition. And it's just beautiful. So Ferdi, when you come up, you're going to have to visit these as well.
Absolutely. Well, looking forward. We're going to be there on the 14th. Anyone needs a ride, you come up with us. But we will. We're looking forward to this. It is so wonderful and inspiring. So I'm going to send everybody off with that energy. Thank you. Be well, and hope you can join us next time.
Okay. Adios.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.